Hi all, I have a fascinating Blitz chess encounter between two former world chess champions and legends of the game, Mikhail Tal playing white against Petrosian in 1975. Let's have a look at this game. E4 from Tal. Petrosian plays the French defense. D4, D5, we have the Tarrasch variation. And now quite an obscure move actually, knight E7. So this avoids potential tempo gains of E5 and avoids the pinned knight. It's a rare bird, but it has been played quite a few times. Mikhail Tal just simply develops his knight here. We have knight D7, bishop D3, and now C5. Now Tal tries to make the position a little bit more open. So he plays E takes D5, knight takes D5, and now castles. Petrosian takes on D4. White now takes time to regain this pawn with knight B3. We have knight C5, trying to grab this light square bishop. Tal actually plays a check here to at least exchange off with the opponent's light square bishop. And now actually there's another option as well to take this pawn with the queen, which is used here. Queen takes D4. Petrosian plays a very tactical looking move, queen A4. So not yet concerned with trying to castle. He's attacking Tal's queen, trying to get the queens off the board. And against a fierce attacking player like Tal, that's seen maybe as a way to help ensure king safety. But Tal is having nothing of this. He refuses the trade of queens in great style here. Can you see what he played in this position? If I give you 5 seconds to pause the video, what would you play here with white? So you want to keep the queens on against Tigran Petrosian. Remember, the king's still in the center at the moment as well. Okay, he plays C4. Yes, trying to kick this knight away, but doesn't it have a tactical downside? This move, doesn't it look a little bit silly because it's got a tactical flaw, surely, you might think. Can you see what Petrosian can play? Just knight takes B3 using the pin on the A2 pawn against the rook. The rooks are not connected here. We have A takes, queen takes A1. So black has won the exchange. But at some cost, his queen's in no man's land, his king's still in the center. But the queen does only need one move to get to A6, where it can protect E6, which it does here, rather which she does. Now here, it seems technically the best move might be to take on E6. With pressure on E6, it's quite persistent. A different move is played though, here, rook E1, which keeps more tension in possession and there's more scope for black going wrong. Now Petrosian plays quite a provocative idea. The queen on D4 is discouraging him trying to move this bishop to castle on the king side, so he dares to castle on the queen side. And now white plays bishop F4 with a menacing threat of rook C1 check. That looks very, very scary to kick the king around. Petrosian though plays rook takes D5, allowing the seemingly scary rook C1 check. Now here we have king D8. So the king's back in the center really. We have bishop G5 check. Technically this position is actually okay for black. Black can actually play bishop E7 here as well as what was played king E8. Both are actually okay. But he plays king E8. And you might think this is scary because doesn't it invite rook C8 check? This is actually not killing for white. If this is played, it's not killing this position. It's scary, but it's not killing. So, for example, here, I mean, we've got things like bishop d6 to cover that diagonal. So what Mikhail Tal does to try and add spice here after king e8 is try and avoid these king d7 possibilities. That's my clue to you. So guess what he plays. It is actually a brilliant looking move. So if I give you 5 seconds, what would you play here with white? Okay, knight e5 is played, offering the queen here. If the queen is taken, yes, there's a penalty if the queen is taken in the form of rook c8 check, and that's mating because the knight's covering the escape square. So rook d8, rook takes d8 is checkmate. There happens to be a saving, not just saving, a winning resource for black that was missed here, which makes this game quite dramatic. And it shows that, you know, Blitz can be fun, but it's often flawed, actually. There's, yeah, a very humane side of Blitz. It's often, you know, full of blunders, let's say. But when you look at closer inspection, black did have an absolutely crushing move in this position, in fact, against this whole attacking concept here. And it echoes, actually, that white's king hasn't got any heir. These pawns are locking down the king. So white's back row is a little bit more vulnerable when this is the case. And black's resource can tap into this. Can you see what black can play here? If I give you 5 seconds starting from now. Which he didn't. Okay, black can actually play bishop c5, believe it or not. Because if rook takes c5, then queen a1 check, and the back row is embarrassing. Yeah. If rook c1, we can take this and be 2 exchanges up, with rook d1 being threatened as well. 2 exchanges up, that's absolutely winning. And if the queen moves, then here, the attack's gone actually. There's f6. Just f6. And this is just winning for black. This wasn't played though. In the game, we see b6. Can you see what white plays here, which is a knockout blow now? Black. This does carry a dreaded weakness of the last move. It does mean an extra piece is unprotected actually, which is immediately tapped into. If I give you 5 seconds, starting from now. Okay, although that move covered c8, there's a trade-off. It made the queen unprotected. An unfortunate compromise move. The queen's unprotected and subject to queen a4 check. Trying to distract the queen away now from c8. It was designed to protect c8, but this move tries to drag it away, a drag and drop tactic away from c8. Black has to resign here. Can't move his king. The rook can't move there. Queen takes. If the queen takes, then we have rook c8. The king would be moving here to, it wouldn't, sorry, if the king would not be moving here because d7 is covered. Rook d8, rook takes d8 is checkmate. So this is an absolutely murderous check. b5, we can take the queen. Yeah, it's murder, it's end of game. An interesting blitz encounter, and it shows a kind of tendency, you know, Mikhail Tal's best against Petrosian, it seems, when he keeps the queens on, when he opens up the position. He's going to have better results. One would say as a generalization, if you look at their games, even in Blitz, that's kind of echoed. And this weakness of the back row, the attacking player needs to be wary in the midst of attacking if his back row is not a subject of concern. So that's interesting, I thought, to show you. I hope you enjoyed this one. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.